Hello, I'm Llewellyn Falco,
And I'm Lynn Langett.
and in this video we want to show you how to teach the recap. But before that we do that, let's talk about the importance of the recap. So why do we do the recap?
We teach in a style that is experience first and understanding second. So the kids are actually experiencing so many concepts that they need some time to digest them.
Yeah, they've just experienced a lot, especially for their first 15 minutes of programming.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to give them time, but we also want to add a little bit more to what they've just experienced.
So in this section, we as teachers are going to repeat, and we'll show you how to do it in a minute. But to set it up, you want to tell the kids what's going to go on. So the kids are not going to follow you. They are simply going to watch. And it's really important that the proctor help to make sure the kids are paying attention.
Yeah, because there's a lot of little extra things that occur here. And so let's go ahead and start. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import.
So just the same thing, we're going to import the square.
And we're going to start with line 1. And so the first word is, before we even start, let's talk about the colors. Everything here is green, which means the computer is going to ignore it. In fact, we can test that by running it and seeing nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now let's go to line 1. We're going to type tortoise and tab. And before we even start here, just notice over here on the right side, we have all these different things that the tortoise can do. It's helpful to sometimes be able to look at this. It's just faster than going through the individual things. And we can see here that it's show. So if we hit S and H, it will jump right there to show. And then we can use tab to complete that. We're going to see that that works. Great. And then we're going to clean it up.
Why do we clean up the lines?
We clean up the lines because otherwise we have too much clutter sort of distracting us. It's easier to figure out what we still have to do if we clean them up. But we wait until we're done seeing them work before we clean them up, just in case we need to change something or get it wrong. So next we're going to move down here to move the tortoise 50 pixels. So again, we're going to do tortoise dot move. And if we look over here, there's a couple things we can notice. One is in between the move here, it says length in pixels. And of course, it has that example of 50. So why do we need to put this 50 in there? Well, if I said show yourself, show yourself.
Ta-da!
But if I say move, that's not enough information. You need to use some intelligence to figure out where you're going to move around. And the tortoise doesn't have any intelligence. So you need to give it a more complete command. And this extra 50 is the extra piece of information it needs to move. Let's see that work. Great. Now it works, we can clean it up.
And you might also point out that if you read the documentation, you get extra things to try out, and sometimes the kids will. You'll notice in documentation over here, it says the number of pixels to move negative numbers will move the tortoise backwards. If some of the kids try it, that's great.
And let's do tortoise again.
Okay.
And by the way, let's notice tortoise is a different color than the green lines of the comments and a different letter than a move. In fact, if we try to run this right now, you notice it doesn't work. And that's because tortoise can't be used by itself. Let's do tortoise dot. And this is going to be one of those setters. So let's say set. And there it is, set pin color. And let's pass it blue. Great, let's run that. Okay, so you can see here we made a mistake. So it starts with 722. What's that 7 mean?
It means that the error is on line 7 at position 22.
Okay, and that actually makes sense because we're just typing on line 7. Let's read the rest of this. The variable is blue is used, but the value is not assigned. Are you sure you've spelled it correctly? So something's wrong with blue. So how do I get that documentation back?
If you click on the set pen color, it's going to give you the example, which is going to really help you out.
And it looks like there's parentheses around here. That's probably it. Computers are really picky.
You'll notice that when you add the quotes to the word blue, which shows up in black, it changes to orange. And the fact that it's orange means that it has a different usage now.
So the black and the orange is telling us something about the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, let's try that out, see if it works. Good. And now let's close that out. Turn the tortoise 90 degrees to the right. So tortoise again, dot turn right. And let's pass in 90. Great.
doesn't work again. Now it says on line 9, position 16, tortoise.turnRight is supplied one argument.
So what's an argument?
An argument is what we were talking about, like with the move. It's a how much. And
it's a thing between the parentheses.
And if you click on turn right, you can see in the documentation, if you check it, that turn right indicates that it is 90, so you don't have to put 90.
And because it's a computer, if you don't have to and you do, it doesn't just ignore it, it actually complains.
Yep, so take out the 90 and it should work.
Great. All right, let's clean that up. And here's a little tip. If you right click, you can say Format Program. You'll see it just lines it up, so it's a little bit prettier. Do the following 4 times. So what word was that?
That's the for keyword.
And you can see right now it's blue, which again is telling us something different about the words. So again, we're going to copy over here from our...
And you might also notice that in the documentation, there's a little icon that shows it's a key for a keyword. So there's also icons, colors, and examples.
Can you paste that?
Uh-huh.
And it starts with 10. We know that was wrong. Let's put it to 4.
Okay.
Great. Oh, another problem. This is weird. Now, this says the problem's on line 9, but I was typing on line 5.
So it says expected N4, but could not find one in the right place.
That's right. The documentation actually tells me that it needs to have an N4. So let me go here and say an N4. And again, I'm going to use that format program just to line everything up nicer. Alright, so now we can clean that. And this time we actually get to clean up 2 lines. So next, make the tortoise move as fast as possible. So again, we're going to do tortoise, and now we're going to tell the tortoise to move. Oh no, we're going to tell it to set the speed. We're changing the speed it moves.
And we're going to pass the 10, looking at the documentation.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thanks for going through this recap with us.